What's up everybody, it's Mike back again today, MF Vape. Thanks for tuning into the channel and I hope you're all doing very well. Right, today guys, we have the Coily Tool for you. Now this ingenious contraption here is used to determine the correct leg measurements of your coils if you're using rebuildable tank atomizers or rebuildable drippers. Now Simon Martin, the owner and founder of the Coily Tool, kindly sent this one over for review, so thank you very much Simon. But what we're going to do is we'll go down low and I'll show you 2 or 3 examples of what this can actually do, and then we'll come back up top and I'll tell you how you can purchase it and we'll talk a little bit more about it. Okay, see you down low in a bit. Right, down at the table we have the Coily Tool. Now it comes with this nice little handy strap. This one is 3D printed and it's in blue. It can be made in a variety of different colours, ranging from like your purples, pinks, orange, even a glow-in-the-dark one that I've seen Simon has made. Now he's also got some injection moulded units that have come in bulk, so you should be able to start shipping them out on a more of a regular basis and in higher quantities. But for the time being, I've got this 3D printed one here. So let's have a look at the logo. You can see that's raised. And on the top, we have this gradient scale ranging from 3mm all the way up to 8. You turn it on its side and you have some notches that are cut out from 3 to 8mm too. And here is the back, and here you can see the actual gradient. Right, examples time. Here is the icon deck, and as you can see, we've got a central post. Now you can use this tool to measure the width of this post, and it's fitting in between this 4mm one, so we can safely say that's 4mm or so. So obviously if you cut your leg lengths at 4, it would literally be touching the inside of this post. So you need to have it a little bit more than that, and it depends on the outer diameter of your coil, because you don't want it touching the actual sleeve of your RDA. So you can sort of move this along and then like gauge where it would be coming. So I would say about, depends how close to the airflow you want it, but about 5.5mm. So I've got my coil here. So what you do is you find the 5.5 section, which is there, and then place the legs, one between each slot, turn it back over, and then literally snip the leads flush with the top there. Whilst pushing up from the underneath. And there is your coil with perfectly cut 5mm legs. So you then get your coiling rod. We're just going to put it in the top ones because this is a micro coil. Might need to pull them out slightly.
Come on, baby, feed my pain. I'm smiling.
So it depends on how close you want it to the airflow, but basically that's 5.5mm. So then you can just repeat on the other side. All right, the second deck we have is the reload deck, and this is a raised post style. So obviously it's quite hard to determine the actual depth of these posts here. So what I tend to do is you can put the lead in and then just sort of like bend it, just like so. And it's coming out roughly about 5mm. So obviously you want it another mil or two on top of that. So we'll call it, let's say 6.5. Straighten that out. Let's see what that looks like. Excuse the actual cord, this is just one I made out of some cantha earlier on. But as you can see, that's roughly in the correct position. So then you just repeat on the other side. So just remember 6.5mm. Right, the third example is the Tigertech Morph single coil RDA. This has got 2 posts. You have the coil mounted in the center, so the legs are on opposite sides like so. So it's quite hard to actually use the Coily Tool to actually measure the build deck area. But what you can do is measure the build deck area. So roughly about, let's say 18mm. You can then measure the outer diameter of your coil. So just over 4mm. The batteries are going on here, but that's what it said. So 18 take away 4 is 14, divided by 2 is 7. So that should be the approximate size of the leg lengths. Right, and then try and mount it. Yeah, so something like that. You can also use this method on the Flave RTA, anyone where you've got the legs on the opposing sides. And basically, so you just measure the build deck area minus the outer diameter of the coil and then divide it by 2. So that is that. Obviously, there are lots of other different build decks, and you just need to work out trial and error along the way. There's also, I believe, a list that you can get online on the Coily Tool website with all of the different RDAs and the different leg measurements that people may have posted on there. So let's go back up top and I'll tell you what I think about the Coily Tool. Back up top, guys, we have the Coily Tool. Right, how can you get hold of one of these? Right, a little bit of background about this first. Basically, these have all been 3D printed up until now, and the amount that Simon can actually produce in 1 week, I believe, is about 20 units. Now he sells 10 on his Facebook group, and the other 10 get sent over to Nature Vape. So you can visit naturevape.co.uk and try and get one there, or you can join the Facebook group. Now Simon Martin is the owner and he's on Facebook, so you can add him as a friend. There's the Coily Tool page on there as well, and then you can ask to join the group. And basically about 8 o'clock on a Monday he runs basically like a draw, so everyone puts X1, I believe, in the comment, and then Simon will draw 10 people, and the lucky winners get the chance to actually purchase the Coily Tool for that particular week. Now it costs £5.99 plus postage, so it's a very reasonable price. But yeah, check out the Facebook group on Facebook or naturevape.co.uk. Right, recently though, Simon's actually got some injection molded units in. He's got a bulk order in, so I do believe that the supply will actually become more abundant, and it should be easier to actually come by one of these Coily tools. And I do know that he's venturing out into asking for vendors not only in the UK but the EU and further afield, such as the US and maybe Australia even. So just watch this space, check out the group and the Coily Tool website as well for more updated information on that. Right, what do I think of the actual Coily Tool, and is it worth it? I actually think this is a real must for anyone who are into their rebuilding, because it's not only useful for your post-list decks, like I showed down below. There's lots of different uses for this, and people are putting up reviews left, right and centre and working out other things that you can do with it. But I just find it very useful for actually ensuring your legs, both of them, are exactly even. Because when I used to do it by eye, you always were slightly cock-eyed on actually getting the measurements. Now some decks I prefer to actually, especially mounted to lung ones, I prefer to just snip it while it's on the deck, so it's not going to be useful all the time, but for a lot of your rebuildable tank atomizers and RDAs, this is a really useful contraption, and like I said a minute ago, it's definitely a must, and until you have it you don't really realise how useful it is, but it definitely is a very top little item, and for £5.99 plus postage you can't really go wrong. It's the price of a beer and a half, and you got yourself a tool that could save you a lot of time and hassle in the future. So yeah, so if you want it, please check out the Facebook group or naturevate.co.uk, and obviously keep your eyes peeled, because there could be more supply coming in. You might be able to see them in shops not only in the UK but further afield. So just check out the website, the Facebook page and group, and see what's going on basically. But that wraps it up for this one, guys, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Please give it a thumbs up if you did, and consider subscribing too. I do lots of reviews on this channel. We've got mods, RTAs, RDAs, we've got sub-ohm tanks, we've got a couple of MET mods. There's all sorts on there, so it'll be very good to have you on board. So until next time, guys, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you again very soon. Okay, cheers.